sir.
Good day to you.
How's it going?
Super good day. Lots on the go.
Yeah, like,
Well, school's back in session. Everybody's busy. Rinks are firing up. Get to drive the kids around. One of the kids. One is too old, too cool to hang out with us now.
oh, she'll still want you to drive.
Yeah, to the really late ones
Yeah,
in the middle of nowhere.
yeah. Have fun with that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, it's absolutely a dad task for sure. The 10 o'clocks in Okotoks.
I'm in bed by then,
You sure are. You sure are.
or I try to be.
Yeah, other than that, it's just all fun, fall fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you?
Not too much, just gearing up for traveling.
Yeah. This is
Hang up
just your
and-
layover, hey?
Yep. Anyway,
What's on tap for today?
well, this might be good to talk. I do have a special guest, Peggy Walsh, and we're going to be talking about co-parenting. And
Why are you saying this is good? Are we about to become co-parents?
oh no. But
The way you paused made me wonder.
On that though, actually,
on that, don't lead with that. What are you talking about? On the topic of co-parenting, I'm glad I've got you alone. What's going on here?
No, but if we do ever separate, if that ever happens, I think we're ready.
What the hell is happening right now? What is going on with this conversation?
Don't you think we're ready, like, to be good
If you switch
co-parents?
to a guest and it's a lawyer, I'm going to be super poopy.
Well, it is. She's ex-lawyer, ex-judge. What?
I'm getting swindled here.
I'm
getting swindled.
You're not.
Totally getting swindled. No, I'd agree. I think, well, I mean, it's funny because we've had friends that are separating now, right? And we're seeing it from all over the place. We've seen some good ones and we've seen some not so good ones, right? Co-parenting is a big deal, like a big deal.
Do you think we co-parent well now? See, it's not even like if they're separated.
Do I think we parent well now, or do I think we co-parent well?
Oh, well, those are two. Let's start with parent. Do we parent well?
No, we're not good adults, and we don't parent well.
Adulting and parenting are two different things.
I think they're very much linked. I think they're very much linked.
Why? Why are we not good?
Have you taken a step back and watched how we operate?
How do we operate?
Exactly. How do we operate? How do we make it through a day? That's the question. I don't know. What was your question about co-parenting? Do we co-parent well?
Well, I'm just curious why we're not good parents.
I didn't say we're good parents. I said we're not good adults. And I think that spills over into parenting.
Difference. Well, like what?
Well, I don't know. I'm just being flippant. I think we've joked around about that's the whole premise of the show. What are you talking about?
Parents of the year, man. The best parents around.
I don't think that was the spirit that this was put together at all.
We do fly by the seat of our pants.
We sure do.
I don't know how to balance a checkbook. Money stuff is out of my, like, I don't know how people do it. I don't know. I think we make pretty good money.
I know the days of the week that we have to put the bins out. So that goes in the positive column.
Yeah.
That's about where the extent of me succeeding at adulting ends.
Yeah.
I can handle the vehicle maintenance and make sure that they're always good to go. Cutting the lawn regularly, 50-50. This year I've been good about watering. Like, it's kind of an ebb and flow, I feel.
Yeah.
As far as parenting goes, I mean, they both still talk to us. One of them was scared for her life the other day with me.
Why?
Well, when you send your dad across town to pick you up and then you're not there.
Yes. Yeah. In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. Yeah. There was definitely someone thought their life was ending. For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Poor kid.
Or poor dad that was across town at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And she's still alive. For the record, she's still alive. There was no threats. No need to call social services. But there was a lot of unanswered texts that were making her nervous. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What about co-parent? Do we co-parent? Well, if we don't parent well, then I don't know if we co-parent well. Are we generally?
Yeah, define co-parenting for people that are together.
Well, just being on the same page with stuff, like same.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like a lot of parents will butt head because dad will let them, I don't know, eat whatever they want for breakfast. And mom will let them, I don't want to like make stereotypes here. Moms will let them go on video games all they want. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're, for the most part, we are. I think the girls definitely know to come to you for certain things that they want to do, for sure. And then I just have to go along with it. That definitely happens.
Like,
Like making plans to go to Canmore with no plans on how they're going to get there or back. And the expectation was it would just be worked out while one parent was not even in the province that this trip was occurring.
hey, it's more about like going to the mall.
Yeah.
But,
Normally that'd be it, but no,
oh,
our kids take it a notch upwards. I would like to miss school this week to go see my grandparents. Cool. Awesome. And that's where that part of the conversation ends. And then the logistical part kicks in. I think it'd probably be where we're not super aligned sometimes.
right. Yeah, I can see that. Or puppies.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get a new puppy. And you don't agree. But then it's too late because we already have a puppy.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, so I can't get rid of her. If she was if she was an ugly dog or a dumb dog, I'd probably would have rehomed her. No, I can't even say that. That's not true. She's a sweetheart.
I think in the early days, we were really good at tag teaming. Like if a girl was screaming.
Yeah, we let the other one have a break and take over. Yeah.
We were really good. And I think we've been good at not stepping in generally. If one person, and we always made that a rule, if one parent has already started engaging, the other parent stays back unless that parent has asked. So there is no jumping in and undermining the other parent or anything. I think we've been good at that.
I think we've been pretty good. I don't know that we're as good at it because I think there are times where the conversation ebb and flow does create that a little bit. But I don't think it's usually on anything major. The girls, there is definitely an alignment of girls, though. You guys have conversations that I don't come at it from the same way. And I think that's probably the main difference a lot of times where I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. Well, I think it does. And then from the other side of the kitchen, I'll see the little blonde head pop up and be like, yeah, that totally makes sense the way they're saying it. I'm like, okay, I'll just drop it. I think but again, those aren't major things. I think for the major things, we typically talk about it. And we've got a fairly good shorthand. Like there was one incident the other day where the kid was stressing about something and you and I just kind of quickly looked at each other and knew we were on the same page before I answered, right? Like, so stuff like that, it kind of is pretty intuitive, but I don't think we're that far off.
And I think we are aligned on things like screen time.
Yeah, the big stuff is never a question. Yeah. The big stuff's never a question. It's in the moment stuff is where, but I mean, that's for anything, right? You're not going to be able to, for the most part, as much as you try and address stuff ahead of time, you're not going to be able to do it every time, right?
And I know we're getting into, like, we are going to be talking to someone who does a lot of, has seen lots of divorces and separations and things like that. But, before we get in, I just think being proactive and talking. And so, I do say, if we ever separate, I think we're on the same page. Like, what do you have to buy me?
I'm going to buy you a cow. Apparently.
You got to buy me a cow. See, already if we ever...
Like in some cultures, that's part of the courting process. Like I have to provide a cow, or like your father has to give me 12 goats in some old civilizations.
No.
Why do I have to give you it as parting gift?
Well,
where are you going to put this cow?
Don't leave me. Well, I don't know why.
I don't leave you.
If you leave me, you got to buy me a cow. That's all.
What if you leave me?
Well, you want the cabin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want the cabin whether I leave you or not. Doesn't matter who leaves. But I'm just saying, if you leave me, do I still have to get you a cow? That seems harsh.
Well, either way, if we separate, period, cow for Caroline. And a trailer to pull it. And a truck to pull the trailer.
Like, what?
Or you can just drop it off to where.
I'll drop a cow off on your front lawn, all right. And I'll tie it to a tree and just drive away. Unbelievable. How did it go from cow to trailer to truck to making we're not co-parenting well right now at all.
But we know we've talked about it.
Because I know what's going to happen. We're going to separate, and in the midst of all the other stuff that's going on, you're going to start lobbing, where's my cow? And I'm going to have to logistically figure out, how to purchase a cow, how to pick up that cow, how to deliver that cow. When really in my mind, it's like, fine, we separate. She's going to buy a cow and send me the bill. That's not how you see this.
No, you got to get it. See, we're being proactive though. You know what's coming.
I don't think you know what's coming.
But at the end of the day, no matter what, we both have the girl's best interest at
Yeah,
heart.
yeah, yeah. I
It
would
will
never.
never be a screw you.
No, no, no. Even if it was contentious behind the scenes, I would do my best to make sure that that never happened. Unless you shacked up with a dude like named Doug, and then I'd probably be openly hostile to him.
What about a guy named LL?
It's unfair. He's rich and good looking.
Yeah. Then you don't need to buy me a cow because I bet he's got enough money for a cow.
You really what?
You can still get me a cow. Never mind.
I don't understand how the cow is a pivotal point of this at
I
all.
just want a cow.
Can it be a little like
Sure.
what about a Scottish, like the shaggy cows? They're cute.
Not my preference, but sure. If
Not
you
like a
can...
Jersey cow, like a big cow.
Well, no, I don't want a big one. Sure, whatever. A cow is a cow. If you get me a big one, it's got to start as a baby.
This sounds like responsible ownership right here. A cow
We'll
is a
figure it
cow.
out. We'll figure it out. But the
I
point
love how we'll
is,
figure out the cow, but we can't figure out our marriage. Like that's the situation that's leading to this. We'll figure out the cow bit. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay. Cool. Pack your stuff, get out, and let me know when you're dropping the cow off.
okay, if we're still together at 60, can you still get me a cow anyway?
That's like just over 10 years away. First of all, why did you lead with if we're still together at 60? And second,
Well, I know we just will be.
why do you need a cow at
I
60?
don't know. I just really want a cow.
Can I just get you like a membership to Butterfield Acres?
No, it's not the same. I can't go squish cows.
I don't know that you're supposed to squish cows
I
regardless.
just want to hug them a lot.
So why don't you just start an animal rescue place and then people will bring you cows
Well, that's a good idea.
and then you can squish them all you want.
We have an animal rescue place.
Yeah.
Awesome. The whole point of this is, you know what's coming because we've talked about it.
I didn't know what was coming at all in this relationship. It just came at me for 30 years.
Well, we should probably get to our
All right.
guest.
A cow expert.
No, she's a co-parent expert, though, Peggy Walsh. She now is a guide for families in conflict, but before that, she spent nearly 2 decades as a judge in New York's Family and State Supreme Court. She presided over some of the most emotionally complex cases, custody disputes, divorces, child protection, and saw firsthand the toll that litigation takes on families. Today, she channels that experience into her work as the co-parent coach, helping separated parents and caregivers avoid court, rebuild communication, and move forward for the sake of their children.
Cool.
Pretty much. And that's one thing I think we've agreed, like, no lawyers. I'm pretty sure there's like divorce paper you can get at the registry. Or a napkin. Napkin works.
Napkin's not appropriate, but yes, we'll keep it as low key as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time we're 60, what do we have to split up? Right? The kids will be gone. It's just really who gets the space enough for a cow. It's pretty
Just to be
cheap, pretty
clear,
easy.
I'm not aiming to leave at 60.
Listen, I've got questions offline here that we're going to answer this because this has brought up a lot of odd
I
shit.
just wanted to make sure I still had a cow, whether or not we're divorced. That's all the 60 was.
So, dear listener, this is honestly not an act. This is 75% of my interactions with my wife are like this. Just so you're clear.
I just want a cow, though. All right.
But one cow leads to multiple cows is the problem with you. Just like one dog led to 3.
Yep.
Yeah, see, you don't even do that. Yep. It's going to be a herd of cows.
Yep.
And you're going to spend the first part of your day trying to squish them all.
Yes. Because they're so cute.
They are cute. They are cute. You better make sure that they're cool with you, though. You don't want to get a cow that doesn't like to be squished.
And then wherever we live, there's probably going to be possible bears or cougars. So then we need a donkey to keep them safe.
Live with donkeys.
Aw, that's so mean. Oh, that's so mean.
It's not you. I meant the kids. I meant the children.
All right.
Let's go.
Enjoy. Well, Peggy, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
I'm happy to be here.
Why don't we start off with having you talk about yourself a little bit for the listeners?
Sure. I'm a co-parent coach, and I came to this project, I guess you would say, because I was a lawyer and then a judge for a long time, my whole career. And I realized that I just didn't want to do that anymore because it is so much conflict. And I want to help people avoid conflict and resolve conflict. And I think this is the better way for me to use my skills and experience.
Absolutely. I started to go down the path of doing custody evaluations
Hmm.
and
Right.
quickly turned away because of the conflict and just how intense and how much the kids are getting torn and just how heated it can get. So it's great to have someone here to talk about how maybe we could do it differently.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience with people with your professional background who do that kind of thing. And it's true. It's a really challenging thing to do because you're trying to resolve conflict, but at the same time, people it just engenders more conflict, because people go to the evaluator and say, this is what's wrong with him, this is what's wrong with her. And it can be kind of awful. So if we can avoid all of that altogether, that is the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a co-parenting coach, where do you start? Where should we start? What would be most important to talk
Well,
about?
it's interesting. I have listened to your podcasts with you and Andrew. And what strikes me most of all is that, and I assume that a lot of people who parent apart listen to your podcasts because the things that you talk about are the typical frustrations that all parents have, whether they're living in the same household or not. So the idea is to remind people that you don't have to get all bent out of shape just because you have a dispute with your co-parent, because you would be having that dispute most likely even if you lived in the same house and slept in the same bed. So, to sort of have that perspective of we still have to figure out what the best thing is to do. And of course, we're going to, disagree. And that's all right. And it's completely normal for parents to disagree. Of course it is. We're human beings. So that's what struck me about your podcast. It seems to me that you're resolving parenting frustrations with your children together, and that's what all parents have to do, no matter their situation. So that's what I do as a coach. I also do mediation, but that's in specific court situations, meaning that if you're trying to come to an agreement about a divorce, I can help with that. But the co-parenting thing is more about how to help people engage with each other in a way that's productive and not always defensive or aggressive, because it's so easy to get into that posture, and reasonably a lot of times, your experience with that person is, I gotta, I gotta fight. I know I'm gonna have a fight, but it's not necessarily so. So that's what I try to do, is just help people navigate those conflicts with each other that can turn into terrible fights, but also can turn into just, oh, okay, well, let's do this. People are really, in my opinion, people are usually prone to wanting to resolve things, wanting to diffuse things. And if they have a third person, sometimes it's a lawyer or a mediator or a coach, whatever, then they can get where they really want to go.
Right. And one of the things that I often talk about with families is, I mean, both parents love their kids and want the
Yep.
best for their kids. And so it's really being able to put aside, the resolving to how do we support kids and maybe putting aside some of the resentment and even hatred that parents might have for each other. I don't know. How do you shift? How do you help parents kind of remember what's most important and put aside their differences, whatever resentment and other big emotions they have for each other to be able to move forward in a helpful way?
It's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing, right? To just to look at your ex or even your husband or wife, and just say, I am so angry with you, reasonably, whatever. It's like, but how long am I going to do that? And how far is that going to get me? And what I really think about that paradigm is, if you keep saying that that person did bad things to you, then you become the victim. And that's not a powerful place to be. So once you release that dynamic of, that person is terrible, she did horrible, she betrayed me, I'm the victim of that, or he left me, I'm the victim of that, because that goes on forever and ever. But once you release that, and start saying, okay, I don't want any part of being a victim, a powerless person. I want to take charge of how I feel. It changes everything. So when people just shift their focus from that person did something so horrible or is so horrible to, well, here's how I want to live because I am sick of feeling bad all the time. I'm sick of being on the phone all the time with my friends and my family, and they're saying the same thing. Oh, yeah, you made a terrible mistake. Or how could you have known she was so horrible? Or whatever, right? Narcissist, abuser, whatever. By the way, I'm not talking about physical abuse, neglect, alcohol issues, or drug issues. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about most things that crop up in relationships that cause people to separate. So those are the things that make people, want to leave, but then they hang on to them forever and they can never heal. And when I say heal, I don't mean like, give in to the other person and say, okay, what you did was fine. Not at all. It's about taking control of your own life by taking control of your own emotions and your own perspective. It works. I mean, I've seen it a million times. I've also seen the other side a million times where people just cannot let go of the she's a horrible person or he's a horrible parent. Just
Right.
goes
Yeah.
on forever.
They hold on to it. Is there anything that you found helpful for them to make that shift? Because I think it's one thing and rationally they get that and probably understand it, but it's probably far harder to actually do that shift.
Yeah. I think looking at the future is a good way for people to kind of decide, well, how do I want to feel in 6 months or a year? Or how do I want to feel when my child has a child? Do I want to never be able to be at Christmas at the same time my, ex is at Christmas? Is my son always going to have to say to his son, I'm sorry, Billy, grandpa and grandma just can't be together at the same time, so we have to have different Christmas times for them. I mean, when people look into the future and say, "Oh my God, I don't want to go through this in 6 months," well, then what's going to change? Is he going to change or is she going to change? You don't know. You only know whether you can change. You can change your behavior, your focus, what you're going to, yeah. I mean, that's what I would say is when you look into the future and decide how you want to feel in 6 months, when you look at that and think, oh my God, on Thanksgiving or, New Year's Eve, do I want to still have this horrible cloud over my head or do I want to be free?
Yeah. And that's true. I mean, my daughter graduated high school a couple of years ago, and her best friend, her mom came to the morning ceremony, dad couldn't come. And then for the evening gala, the dad went to that, but mom couldn't come. And I mean, they divorced when she was itty bitty. So it's not even like it
Yeah,
was just last year, right? And so
right.
this is a real thing. It
It is.
reminds me, have you read Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for
Yes,
Meaning?
sure.
Just everything that you've talked about is what he talks about. It's about looking into the future, right? And
Yes,
being future oriented, not stuck in the past. So
right.
that's very powerful. Yeah,
I mean, I think we all do it in every single way.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's maybe I want to lose weight, but right now I want to go out and have pizza or something. It's like well, but look at the future. Like, what is that going to look like if I have the pizza every night? Or, I mean, every single little tiny thing is the same paradigm, and when you look at the gigantic picture of your children and how you want your children to think about you and feel about you, yeah, six
Yeah.
months ahead, but 10 years ahead, 30 years ahead, you have to start now.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I was going to ask you too, I'm sure, I mean, parents are always well intentioned. They always want the best things for their kids, but
Yeah,
sometimes they make mistakes that make things worse for
all
their
parents do it.
children.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Are there common mistakes when you see parents going through separation or divorce that unintentionally sort of harm the kids more than help?
Yes. Well, first of all, the giant one is when when children overhear or hear directly disparaging comments about the other parent. Of course, that's the most horrible thing because children really do love both parents and they want to be free to love both parents. But when they hear mom say, um, so did your father, whatever, right? Your father didn't feed, some terrible thing. Or, oh, so your mother's spending all the child support I give her on whatever, right? It's the most horrible thing that parents can do. But there's usually, I mean, and parents know that, and they usually get over that pretty quickly. But there's much more subtle things that parents don't realize affect their kids a lot, which is the communication between when parents are getting along well enough, the communication between them that looks that looks hostile, even though they're talking. Kids know when their parents are, hostile toward each other or not. And it's an effort to really become a parent who will talk to the other parent in a way that's really with respect. And respect for the other parent is a very big deal because if you don't have respect for the other parent, your child is going to have a hard time having respect for that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So showing respect to each other, I would say, is a huge thing. And even if your kid knows that you don't get along very well, but if you can communicate respectfully, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And I often see kids being put, I mean, there's so many things that I see where they're the middleman. Tell your father this or tell your mother this.
Yes.
Or don't tell them this,
Or
don't tell
don't.
them that, and so they're now keeping secrets or they're not wanting to share because they worry about hurting a parent's feelings or, like there's all of those pieces too that I think can become problematic.
Yeah. I mean, when parents try to get the child to take sides, there's nothing worse because the child can't manage that, depending on the age. But even a teenager, really can't manage that when it happens over and over and over. And I've written some stories on my website, or presented some stories on my website from, experiences that I've had in the courtroom. And I talk about this young woman, Sienna, a teenager who uh, came to court a lot and was delightful, sweet, just a perfect kid. Gave nobody any trouble. Her parents would file petition after petition, and sometimes Sienna would say, no, I really want to live with my mom and not spend much time with my dad. And then she would say, oh no, I really want to live with my dad and not spend so much time with my mom. And everything was great for her. I mean, she presented that way, like everything's fine. And then um, she stabbed a child in his spleen. He almost died because she couldn't manage her internal conflict. She was presenting as a smiling, happy child who did great in school, wasn't a problem to anybody, but kids can't manage that conflict between their parents for very long. So, one way or another, their anger is going to come out. So, yeah.
They're like little pressure cookers. Is it
They're
helpful?
pressure cookers. That's exactly what they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. And then it explodes. I'm not sure are you in the United States?
Yes, I'm in Florida.
Okay. So I'm not sure what if they're called the same thing, but just like having a voice of child assessment. Do you find it helpful, kids having their own lawyer to help sort
I do. I find it tremendously. I mean, I live in Florida now, but I practiced and I was a judge in New York, and we have children's attorneys in New York. So every child who's the subject of a court proceeding gets an attorney appointed by the court and paid by the state. So it's a wonderful thing, and their voices are heard because the mandate to the attorney is to represent your client just as though their parents have representation. The father's attorney says whatever the father wants, the mother's attorney, and the child's attorney has to say exactly that. So, like in this kid Sienna's case, it was the same thing. The attorney would say, well, Sienna wants to live with her dad now and wants to, back and forth, back and forth. And he would just try to navigate that. But But attorneys who present their children's positions well, the way attorneys should with all clients, are a really valuable component to the court proceeding. There's no question about that. Because otherwise, you have the parents saying, "Oh, Julie wants to live with me," or the father saying, "She's just saying that. Julie really spends more time with me and really loves that." Well, then, if Julie's lawyer says, "Well, here's what's happening with Julie, okay? And this is what," but often the lawyer can convey to the court in a way that the parents don't hear it. I mean, that's a complicated process, but the point is, yes, the child should always have a voice in litigation, I think.
Yeah. And being able to collaborate too, I think, just like you were saying at the very beginning. Is there a way to have a sustainable parenting agreement? Does it have to always
Yeah.
go to a legal order or? Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's one thing that I help people do, come up with their own agreements, a parenting plan. And then it doesn't have to be a court. I mean, it can be a court order, of course. And then if it's not followed by one person, they go back to court. It's a violation. And, it starts a whole litigation thing. But you don't have to. And often it's great if you don't do that at all. And then two people come to an agreement by deciding what's really important to them. And they just decide, okay, look, I really want to do this, and you really want this. Let's just, forget the stuff that isn't that important to me. It's more important to you. I'm not gonna like keep that because I know it's important to you. I'm gonna let that go. You decide about medical stuff, or you have them on Christmas because I don't celebrate Christmas. So why would I hold that away from you? Only because I want to, and I can. I can try to. So for sure, it's so much better when parents can just come to an agreement themselves. And having things in writing is a wonderful thing. Having a contract that's not enforceable by any court, but just in writing saying, okay, here's what we decided. Not, I'm texting you, can't you see our contract? Doesn't matter. It's not a court order. So it's just, look, I thought we agreed this. Look, oh no, I didn't think we did. No, we did. Look at that. Oh, all right. Okay. So it's just boundaries. It's helpful.
Yeah. Is there anything that you think is helpful for parents to think about when they're coming to create an agreement like that? Things for them, like if you're going to go through the coaching steps, things for them to consider or to make sure that they're doing.
Yeah, I think that they have to keep in mind that the other parent knows as much about they do as the child as they do. I mean, I think a lot of times people say, well, I've spent more time with this kid than you have. It's like, well, but you're equal parents. And so going into the future, how is this going to look for the child? I mean, how do you want your child to feel about the parenting arrangement after all? You want to consider the child's time. You want to decide activities that the kid's going to do after school and make sure that you're promoting those things that that kid wants to do, not just your time. So, yeah, you have to make sacrifices for your child. What else is new, right? Parents together, parents apart, you have to make sacrifices. So you decide, well, okay, he really loves this and she really loves that. So that doesn't work with my schedule. I'm just going to have to grin and bear it for a year or whatever. And then we'll figure it out.
Right. It's too bad Andrew's not here with us today because he'd probably have a lot to say. I mean, we're happily married, but we're always joking around. If we ever divorce, this is what's going to happen. And the girls are, piping in what they want to, if that ever happens. We talk a lot about it. But I mean, if we ever were to get divorced, I think we have already a really good plan of what that would look like. I mean, they're grown up now anyways. One's adults and doing her own thing. But yeah, it was something that we've always kind of talked about. So anyway, lots to think about here. Anything left unsaid that you think is really important for listeners to hear before we call it a day?
No, well, yes. I guess one thing that's left unsaid that I guess is implicit, if you don't have to go to court, don't go to court. It's not easy. It's not, you feel like you're going to be vindicated. You feel like you'll tell your story and then the other person's going to be, swept away in the wind and you're going to be the one standing. It's not necessarily so. You're giving decision-making power about yourself and your family to a stranger, no matter what stranger that stranger might care about you and your family, but a judge is still a stranger. I mean, the people who should make decisions about children are the people who love the children, not a person who has come to know them a little bit, understands a little bit. I would say avoid it to the extent you possibly can. It's not just about money. Money is important, but it's about who makes the decisions about your children and your life going forward, by the way. I mean, you want your schedule determined by somebody who thinks, well, you should stop playing golf. So you can do, I mean, it's like just make a deal with the other parent because you know each other and you know your kids. And when I see a deal, that's the reality of it. You make exchanges. You say, okay, you take care of this, I'll take care of that. And then once you do it together, it will work. And also, by the way, when people separate and ultimately go to court, they think that once they tell the judge all about their ex, the judge is going to feel the same way as they do about their ex. But that's never true. I mean, I can say almost never true. A judge is not going to hate your ex. A judge is not going to hate you. A judge is not going to have those emotions. A judge is just going to try to do what's best for the kids. So as the people who love those kids, you're the people who should make the decisions about them.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great way to end the show today. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I will have all of your information in the show notes, but for people who are listening right now, what's the very best way for them to reach out to you if they want to get in touch?
Well, the best way to do it is my phone number. So, yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely happy to give your listeners my phone number. I've listened to enough of your podcasts. I think if people are listening to your podcast, they know what they're doing, and I'd be happy to talk to them. So 518-364-2504.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I will make sure that that's in the show notes. Thank you for being on the show.